Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This is actually going to be the first of my pregnancy vlogs for my second pregnancy. I'm now 9 weeks and something like 4 days pregnant with, maybe 5 days, with our second child, and some of you might be thinking, hey, I only just watched a TTC update about this. I've actually been trying to film pregnancy vlogs for like the past few weeks since we've known. But turns out it's a lot harder to film pregnancy vlogs when you have a child already, you have a job, a house to look after, and just general life stuff to do. Before I was unemployed living with my mum and, didn't have a lot else to do, so it was really easy. But these days, a lot harder. So yeah, the only other symptom I wanted to mention, and I've just remembered it, is that I am really tired. Don't have a lot of stamina, quite wiped out easily, sleeping really well, peeing loads, which is kind of annoying, but oh well, I guess you just sort of go with it. So I wanted to just reach out and say that there is a Q&A opportunity here. If you have any questions about whatever you want, nothing's too personal, nothing's too weird, you can ask me anything. Feel free to post that question in the comments below, and what I might do is I might do a Q&A video where I answer these questions. So to give you some ideas, you might want to ask me about my vegan diet, you might want to ask me about breastfeeding, you might want to ask me about, delivery of the baby, you might want to, ask me about, John's involvement and what does he want to do. You might want to ask more about the genetics. You might, whatever you feel you're curious about. I just want to make you guys aware that I'm happy to answer questions, and nothing is off limits. So, you can ask about how we conceived and when and where, because we recently went to Norway, and some of you have said, ooh, that Norwegian air must have really done it for you. So we can talk about that some more and stuff if you want. I also just think that it was so fresh and so new, I hadn't really had a chance to sort of process it. Now I'm feeling a little bit more confident and like I can actually make a coherent video which isn't too long and rambly, and I will try and make it short and concise and to the point, but I do have a lot to cover, so bear with me. So most of you have been really congratulatory, thank you so much. We are absolutely thrilled, we're very excited. It's obviously taken us a long time to get to this point, and we are nervous yet excited, sort of cautiously optimistic, but in general excited. And we've now told everyone that sort of really needs to know, so which is why I was holding off with the pregnancy vlogs anyway, because we didn't want people that were important to us to find out via YouTube. It seemed a little out of whack to tell the internet at large that I was pregnant, but not some immediate family members, so there is that. So if you are surprised to see this video out of the blue, then it's probably worth you going back to check out my TTC update number 16, because in that I show you the footage of us actually discovering that I am pregnant. And that was on the Sunday the 9th of October that we made that discovery, so we've known almost a month now. And it's been a very up and down month, and I will go into some of that in a minute. Thank you also to everyone who mentioned the hair. Yeah, I had this done really soon after we came back from honeymoon, so basically end of August, early September. I had all my hair cut off. It was a lot shorter than this, but it's obviously grown out quite a bit, and I also had the little blue bit put in at the front, and it was lots of fun, and I really liked it. So thank you all to who noticed and have said that they like it. Thank you, I like it too. So I was 6 weeks pregnant when I found out about it. It was a complete surprise, wasn't expecting it. We don't know what worked per se, but we ended up pregnant. So basically after that I started developing some more symptoms, and I realised that I had been having symptoms, but I had been interpreting them as period symptoms and hadn't really put the two and two together. So the symptom that I got after finding out was nausea, and that came a couple of days after finding out. I started to feel weird. about some things. And I had already started to have some food aversions before, but I didn't really realise why. So nausea seemed to be brought on by hunger, and also some smells, like cooking smells mostly, would really set it off. But I just decided to stick to whatever I felt like eating, and that seemed to be very plain things, so I just stuck to eating rice and potatoes and stuff, and I would snack a lot in between meals, especially at work. I had heartburn basically all the time, and that was annoying because heartburn is a pain in the butt, and it really, really sucked, and it just made me feel kind of gross all the time. But actually, both of those things have completely worn off now. Within, say, the last week or so, I haven't experienced anything like that. Maybe like a tiny twinge of nausea, but not really much. And I haven't actually been sick, which is great. It's a huge improvement on last time, where I was sick every day, and sick at least once a week from like 15 weeks onwards. I just never got a break. I had sore boobs, and they have calmed down as well. They're nowhere near as sore, but they are a little bit bigger. And definitely like nipples are bigger and darker and stuff, and that was like a really clear symptom, which again I hadn't really noticed, but when I looked at them I was like, oh heck yeah. And John agreed. Obviously I'm not hoping for like mega boobs to come in, but you know, it's nice for them to be a little bit bigger. Still not wearing a bra, by the way. A new symptom for me per se is ligament pain. Like, when you're pregnant in the early stages, you often get cramps and like some pains and stuff, and that's just your ligaments where your uterus is situated. It's held in place by these ligaments, and they often stretch and sort of just start to loosen up when you're pregnant. So I had that with Leo, but it has been so much worse this time. And maybe it's just because I'm 6 years older and therefore 6 years crumblier, but it's definitely been a lot more painful. I've noticed it more often. It'll be when I've been sitting down for a long period of time and I go to standing up. It's more often if I am lying down or sitting down that I notice it, especially if I cough. It really hurts. And I think that has extended to my right hip a little bit. I've been having some joint pain in my right hip. I do have some joint pain sometimes, but this has been a little bit more frequent and just a little bit more intense. So anyway, that's been happening. I have bad skin as well. I'm super spotty and my rosacea is flaring up big time. That could be hormones, that could also be the fact that it's much colder outside now and my skin is so dry and it hates the cold. So those are basically my main symptoms at the moment. I don't really have any food cravings per se. Got a bit of a sweet tooth going on at the moment. But I definitely have some food aversions, things that I wouldn't normally have a problem with, like cooked mushrooms. Ugh, no way. And anything that has like a really rich or like complex flavour, no, can't do that. So I'm 9 weeks, and my weeks switch over on a Sunday, I believe. Due date is the 6th of June 2017, which is actually the day before John's birthday. So, and it's a few days before my mum's birthday, and that'll be nice for them. Well, for all of us, really, but especially nice for them. And I am actually going for a dating scan on Monday, which is a little bit early. I'll only be about 10 weeks, but because we want to do some prenatal testing, we're doing some screening tests for genetics. They need to know exactly how many weeks I am before they can proceed with the one that we've chosen, which is CVS, which is chorionic villus sampling. And this is where they go in through your stomach with a needle, which I'm not looking forward to. Like, I'm fine with needles, but just the idea of an entire needle going right the way through is kind of, yeah, skeeving me out a bit. They go in, they take a little tiny piece of the placenta, which is the other reason that they do a scan, because they need to know where the placenta is and whether it's large enough or whether it's like, is it accessible? and things like that. So they need to know. So we're going on Monday, we're going to have a dating scan, we're going to get pictures, hear the heartbeat. We're both really excited. And the genetics thing is complicated. I have myotonic dystrophy. For those of you who don't know, it's a genetic disorder that you inherit, and I inherited it from my dad. Because I'm female, I can have children that are severely disabled from birth. They'll have congenital myotonia. And basically, we want to know, going forward, whether or not this baby is affected by the gene or not. Now, it's not a guarantee that this baby will be born disabled. They could be born perfectly fine, and Leo is living proof of that happening. He was born perfectly fine, and he's developing normally. But we want to know because we just feel like having more information is always good, especially when it comes to things like genetic disorders. At this point in time, we have not made any hard decisions about what we are going to do with that information. We are simply waiting, and we're going to find out, and we're going to see what the results are and what we feel is best moving forward. And that is a very personal choice, and I understand that not everybody is in favour of things like abortion and stuff, and it is a very difficult, very controversial subject, but it is also a very personal thing. And I just wanted to get out there and say, look, we're not saying we're going to abort a baby with myotonic dystrophy. We just want to know exactly what we're dealing with so that we have time to prepare, and so that we can make decisions based on that knowledge. We are simply arming ourselves. Forewarned is forearmed, as they say. So that's all we're doing. So the CVS can be done about 11 weeks, and that will probably take a few days to get the results from. I am very apprehensive about these results. I am very nervous. But to be honest, I have felt worse. Initially, over the last few weeks, I have felt very mixed, very up and down about this, to the point where one day I wasn't sure I'd be able to go into work because I just felt so consumed by it. But somehow I have arrived at a place where I feel relatively calm. Thinking about where I was about it, I have now come to a place where actually I feel like we're going to be alright. Everything's going to be fine. And it's a huge leap of faith, but I'm trusting my instinct here, and my instinct is saying, you'll be fine. So I'm choosing not to worry, because the worry isn't useful to me. All it does is stress me out and give bad vibes and increase my cortisol levels and stuff, which is not good. And I need to be taking care of myself. And obviously this little raspberry-sized thing that is growing inside me. But feel free to just shoot questions, and I will do my best to answer them in another video. Okay, so that's all for now, folks, and I'll be back with another video really soon. Bye, guys.